If your student is in one of my high school classes, there are certain things that overlap between physical science, biology, and chemistry. Biology students will need to use the Exploring Creation with Biology 2nd edition. They will also need the Solutions and Tests booklet, and so they will need both books for biology. I would ask that you would print out a copy of their syllabus for them and put it into their notebook so that they have it. Each class session, it will say prep for class 1, and that is the homework that they're expected to do before they come to the first class period. So then when it says prep for class 2, they will do that before the second class period. That's how the syllabus works. Every student is supposed to watch the 3 creation interpretation classes on YouTube before the first class. That way we're laying the creation foundation that all of the students need, but I'm not taking time away from the class. When they come to class, they need to have their textbook, they need to have their notebook, they need to have their syllabus, they need to have writing implements. They probably should have some plain unlined paper for when they're drawing the pictures for their labs, because then on the observation part that they've already written that, they can put refer to attached sheet. And then that way they can draw the pictures on a separate sheet. Anyway, so make sure that they bring all those things to biology. When your student writes up their biology lab, there is the description in the syllabus on how they should do that. There should be the title and the number to the lab. Then there should be Roman numeral 1, the purpose, and the purpose is usually described in the lab somewhere, what they're trying to learn from it. Roman numeral 2 would be the procedure, and that can be very simple, especially in biology. That might be looking at fixed slide of blah, you know. And so just keep it very simple and in a numbered format, which is described on their syllabus for them. And then Roman numeral 3 would be observations, and that would be, in biology, a lot of the time this is drawings, and they don't have to be an artist. They can be simple drawings where they'll do their labeling, etc. Roman numeral 4 is their conclusion. Frequently in biology, the conclusion will be giving facts about the thing that they observed. It might be giving the functions of the organisms or organelles, organs or organelles that they drew in their lab, etc. So I will go over in class with them what I suggest for their conclusion so that they have a good conclusion for their labs. When it says to prep for a lab, in their homework, it means that they're supposed to do the title, the number, Roman numeral 1, the purpose, Roman numeral 2, very brief procedure, and then they will complete the lab in class when they get to Roman numeral 3, and they'll do their observations, and then Roman numeral 4, and they will do their conclusion at home. And so that's when it says complete lab write-up at home. That's what it's talking about. Biology is extremely vocabulary heavy. And so it's very important that the students come up with the shortest definitions they can that make some sense. And it would be better if they use their own words. To prepare for their tests, they will need to study the on your owns, their lab write-up, and the study guide. If they do all of that, then they will be ready for their test. After we finish the study guide, and we will go over together like the second week of class. We'll usually take 2 weeks in each chapter, but not always, so watch the syllabus. But after we finish the chapter, we've gone over the study guide, then the student will come home, study for, and take the test. After they take the test, they should bring it to class with them the next week, because then we will grade the test together in class. Even if you have graded their test because you wanted to, I still want them to bring the test to class so that they can participate with us. At the beginning of the next class, we will pray and we will grade the test. I will tell them some things in class that they may have a right answer, but you may not know that because you may not know what I said in class. And so it's really important that the students bring their test to the next class period so that when we go over it, they can finish out their grading there or do all of their grading there. And then they will bring those graded tests home, and you will use those to average those scores together at the end of the year, and that will be a third of their grade. The test should be taken closed book if they want to get the honors biology credit that this class is set up for. If, as their parent, you want them to take the test open book, that is fine. That's between you and your student. Once the tests are graded, they will put that in their notebook and then bring that home to you, and you will grade their homework assignment, their study guide, and their on your own, and their lab write-ups. And then I will go over their tests with them and grade them with them, and then they will bring that grade home. In your parent letter, I suggested to you that one very logical way to grade the students would be to go ahead and give a third of the weight to homework assignments. Please, on the homework assignments, only grade for completeness and neatness, because the homework assignment is to benefit the student. It should never hurt the student. So as long as they're doing it and they're doing it neatly and complete, then they should get 100% on that. Their lab write-ups, if they follow the, have their title, have their 4 points, they're doing it neatly, they've actually done what I've asked them to do, and if you have questions as parents, you feel free to email me at professorfrates@gmail.com. I'm happy to help with that. But the point is that you will assign the grades, and so there'd be a third of the weight of the grade for the homework, a third of the weight of the grade for the lab write-ups, which will be throughout the course, and then a third of the weight of the grade given to the averaging of all their test scores throughout the year. In college, math and science are on a 10-point scale. That means 90 to 100 is an A, 80 to 89 is a B, etc. And therefore, I suggest that in science they be on a 10-point scale also. The whole reason that I'm teaching these classes actually is because I love science and the Lord's called me to it, and I want to bless your children, and I hope that I can teach them to love God's creation through science also. But I also am trying to help them prepare for college, because a lot of your kids are college bound, and therefore I'm really trying to point them in that direction. And so I think that the grading should line up with what the colleges are doing, and that's how they're doing it. Please email me through the professorfrates@gmail.com. I know some of you are past students, and we have the old email address. That email address is overwhelmed with spam, and therefore I'm losing student and parent correspondence there. Therefore, I started a new email address specifically for students and parents. It's not used for anything else, and therefore I can see when you email me. So please use professorfrates@gmail.com, and I will make sure that I check that as regularly as I can, and then that way I can get back to you faster. Thank you again for trusting me with part of your child's education.